Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. For today's session, you'll need something like a strap or a towel or a t-shirt that you can use. We'll start off in a kneeling position. Bring your hands to rest on your thighs. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And take these first few moments to just bring your focus and awareness to your breath. The physical motion of your breath. With every inhale, you feel your ribs expand. And every exhale, allow your spine to sit up just a little taller. Imagine that someone could take the tops of your ears and pull you up towards the ceiling. Blink your eyes open, swing your legs around in front of you so you come into a cross-legged sitting position. And we'll come into some neck stretches here. So lower your chin down towards your chest, maybe feeling a bit of rounding in your upper spine. Allow your chin to drop heavy. And if you want to add on to that, you can interlace your fingers at the nape of your neck and really pull your elbows down. And then bring your right hand over to your left ear and pull your right ear over towards your right shoulder. At the same time, you can activate your left fingertips towards the mat if you want to find a little more stretch all along the left side. Take a full big breath in and a full big breath out. And then release, bring your chin back to your chest, and we'll swap this up to the opposite side. So your left hand will come to your right ear, and you can feel that nice length all along the right side of your neck and into your shoulder. Breathe into that space, maybe find a bit of movement into your jaw. And then slowly release your head and roll your chin back down to your chest. And we'll take these stretches again. So bring your right ear over towards your right shoulder, and maybe this time tip your chin a little more up towards the ceiling. So you may feel a little more pull into the front of your throat. Also feel free to find any sort of jaw movement. And then switch this around, left ear towards left shoulder, and maybe you're pulling your head back just a little bit more, just to get a little more open into the front of your right throat especially. And then slowly bring your head back through center. And one last go around here. Maybe find a little more swoopy motion into your upper spine as you bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Again, maybe pulling your left fingertips away from you. Maybe moving around through your jaw. And then switch, bring your chin down towards your chest. Roll your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Option to catch hold of your ear. Option to stretch your right fingertips down to the mat so you can feel a little more pull all along the right side. And then slowly release. And from here, take a big head circle up and around to the right. I like to keep my hands connected to my knees. That adds a little more leverage to stretch into your neck and your throat. Bring your chin back through center. And then start to take this the opposite direction. Roll your head over to the left. Take this big, juicy head roll, open through the front of your throat, open into your chest. And then bring your gaze straight forward. Sit up nice and tall through your neck. And move yourself back to your kneeling position. Grab hold of your object, so your strap or your towel, whatever you've got. Extend it up overhead so your arms are about shoulder distance apart. And then start to bring your right hand down to the mat. Now this takes a little bit of trial and error because you want to have tautness into your object. Now pull your top arm away from your bottom arm and then really sink your hips over to the left here. So the purpose of this is to get a little more of a stretch into your left side body. So you may have to kind of adjust where you're holding onto your object, but continually pull the object like you're trying to rip it apart. And then really think of exposing your left side rib cage up towards the ceiling. And then strong oblique, strong core brings you up to center. We take this the opposite way. Tack your left hand down to the ground. Maybe shift your hips over to the right. Feel the exposure of your right side rib cage. And if you'd like to, you can experiment with dropping your left ear down towards your left shoulder. Just notice how that feels. And keep that same tension in the object like you're trying to rip it apart. Take a big breath in and a full breath out. And then slowly come back to center. We're going to do that again. So your right hand will come down to the ground. You can shift your hips off to the left. And imagine that sensation of ripping the strap in two, getting that nice opening all along the left side rib. Take a few more big breaths here. And then slowly come up and we will swap sides. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up and over, and shift your hips over to the right. And feel this pull all along your right side rib cage. Push your left hand down into the ground, breathe in. And exhale. And then bring yourself back up to center. Take your strap or your object and bring it back behind you. So you're grabbing your strap with your two hands behind your back. And rotate your palms to face each other. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears and imagine like you're trying to rip the object apart with your two hands. And then try to bring your fists down to the ground. Feel that continual openness through your chest, through your collarbones. And now do the opposite. You're gonna pull your chin to your chest and bring the top of your head or your forehead all the way down to the ground. Maybe you're able to lift your hips away from your heels and try to bring your hands a little further forward as you continually pull your object apart. So it may feel like a nice little opening into your shoulders or into your chest. Take one more big breath here and then slowly bring yourself out of this. Keep your hands bound by your object. Take a little moment for some neck stretches here. Continue to try to pull your object apart. Bring your chin down to your chest and roll your right ear over towards your right shoulder. So you're getting a nice stretch all along your left side. And then switch, bring your chin down and bring your left ear over towards your left shoulder. So you're feeling this nice stretch all along your right side. And we'll do that again. Bring your chin down to your chest and roll your ear over towards your shoulder. Maybe let your head go back a little further. And then switch, bring your chin down, bring your left ear over, and maybe try to rotate your chin up towards the ceiling. Lower your chin down to your chest. Bring your gaze up to the ceiling. And however much you feel comfortable, allow your head to drop back. So you're opening through your throat and opening through the front of your chest. And then pull on your object and take your head down to the mat once again, kind of like a child's pose, and then option to lift your hips away from your heels. So keep pulling on the strap like you're trying to rip it apart. You'll feel this nice stretch through the front of your shoulders. And then lower your hips back down to your heels. Bring your arms back down. And you can release your object for a moment. Keep it in one of your hands and step forward to a forward fold. And then from there, slowly roll yourself up to stand. Now bring your object so it's in front of you and bring your palms so they're facing down to the mat. You've got the object in both hands. Reach your object so it goes straight in front of your chest. Pull the object apart and then bring the object overhead. And then bring the object back down to chest height and then lower down to your thighs. I'm going to take that a few more times here. All the time, I want you to imagine feeling as though you could pull the object and rip it apart. You can make this a little more of a smooth movement going through chest height. And again, your arms should be maybe a little wider than shoulder width. Have a little bit of a bend through your knees. Keep your shoulders really engaged here. Maintain some space between your earlobes and your shoulders. And keep your chest slightly forwards. Take one more set here. We're going to switch this into something different. So you can widen your hands on your strap. Now we're going to try to bring the object all the way up, back, and around. So lift your strap, rotate your shoulders, and then try to bring your arms back and around behind you so your strap touches the back of your body, and then take it back the way you came in. So you're just making these big circles up, around, and back. Let your strap touch the back of your body, and then back, up, and around. So this takes a good amount of shoulder mobility, shoulder flexibility. The further apart your hands are, the more accessible this will be. And if you have an object that has a bit of flexibility, like a band or something, that's fine, but try to give yourself enough tension that you're feeling this openness into your chest. And if you're feeling that you need to bring your hands a little closer together to find more of a stretch, then go ahead and do it. Just try it out. You'll get to that sticky spot and see if you can hang there for a second and breathe, and then allow yourself to go past it. We'll take about 5 more of these. You can move at your own pace if you'd like to go a little bit slower. Maintain a soft buoyancy in your knees so you're not locking through your joint. And then just notice as we get further and further along, if you can bring your hands a little closer together, or if you're feeling a little more open into your shoulders or your chest. When you bring the strap up, it's inevitable that your shoulders will lift a little bit. That's okay. Allow that to happen. Keep feeling like you're trying to rip the strap into. And we'll take just a couple more here. Last ones, try to keep your elbows as straight as possible. And then bring your hands back down to the fronts of your thighs. Now release your strap just into one hand and bring the strap or the object so it comes behind your body. Bring your hands a little closer to each other, punch your fists down, lift your chest open, bend your knees, find a forward fold, and allow your arms to come over your head. And then you can take a little side-to-side twist here, so bend your left knee a lot and bring your left shoulder to rest on your left knee. And use your object. Imagine like you're trying to pull one hand over towards the other. And now switch this up, bend your right knee, bring your right shoulder to rest on your right thigh. Come back to center and switch, bend your left knee, left shoulder. Really think that you could peel open through your top right shoulder. And back to center and switch, right shoulder down, left shoulder up and open. Continually trying to pull your object apart. Bring yourself back to center and we'll take it again. This time really thinking that you could peel your right shoulder open to the ceiling. Come back to center and switcheroo. Left shoulder lifts, right shoulder down. And then come back to center. And slowly roll yourself up to stand. You've still got your object. Punch your fist down, lift your heart up and open. Maybe a little more of a back bend here. Big breath in. And then exhale to release. Let your object drop off to the side. Take a few moments to roll around through your shoulders, your head, your neck. Find a little bit of loose movement here. And we'll end in a standing position. Bring your feet so they're about hips width distance. Find a soft bend of your knees. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And take these few moments just to come back to your breath, the breath that we established at the beginning. Thank you for joining us. And that's your flow.